Ooh, let's see. I am live. Let's see if anybody starts popping up. Typing in for people to jump in. I'm live. Look on Bird's page. It sucks I couldn't do it from my freaking computer. I was hoping to do that. Discussion maybe. Dang it. That stinks. Anybody want to hop on? I don't know if anybody's watching. If you're watching, obviously, I would need you to comment. Because right now... Oh, I got a viewer. I got one viewer. Just, see if I make a post. See if... Oh, 4 viewers. It's popping up now. You guys can comment so I know who's on and whatnot. I was trying to do this from my laptop. I'm actually looking on my laptop to see if there's a way to do that. It's a live stream, Lizzie. I'm going to be talking about comics and just shenanigans with an admin. But I was hoping to do it, like I said, directly through my laptop. Can you at least hear me, Mike? So, all right, so Mike, it's your issue that you can't see me because Lizzie can see me because she's talking trash to me. But I wanted to discuss comics with everybody because I'm a big comic nerd. I'm kind of like the comic guy for our group. And if it looks like I'm not looking at the screen because I'm literally trying to figure out my laptop how to flip and do it from there because I've seen people do it from laptops. AKA, oh, I know it's not trash talk. You're good. The topic is going to be, why is it not? Okay, I guess we can't do it from a dumb old face or from the laptop. It's got to be done from this. All right, but the topic today is just this week's comics. Superman dies. He died a long time ago in the 90s, in all technicality. Actually, let me turn on the light. I didn't realize I was going to have to do this. So, follow me to turn on the light. There we go. That way y'all can see the comics I'm talking about. But this week had some decent comics come out. Thor, to be more specific, left us in a huge trying to get the comics out now. Like upheaval cliffhanger because Loki stabbed his mom and killed her right after Lady Thor and Odin were having a epic battle on pretty much who has the bigger hammer. And yes, that's innuendo. I'm trying to find the cover for you guys. Thor showed up in actually Lady Thor showed up in a couple comics this week, actually. Right here. The way it left us was the original Thor, Odin's son, was kind of kicking it over in some planet being a prisoner. And so everybody's all excited this week or this month's issue for, woohoo! Oh, I bet you do, Mike. Everybody's excited about the whole fact that possibly we would see Odin's son come out and beat Loki's ass or something like that. And it was a massive letdown of an issue. It was literally, for people who watch anime like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, it was a damn filler issue. It gave us backstory about, looks like the Asgardian version, or Loki's version of a Hulk. It's just his backstory. And so it was just huge letdown. You're like, alright, sweet, we're going to get something. And then, bam, complete flipping boredom. So there's that. And it was just total, just hurts your feelings that when you get a good thingamajigger, an issue or a good story, and the writers come back at the next issue and shit on your dreams, pretty much. That's what they did. Because Travis Stoner said earlier in my comic book group that we have that, oh man, Thor's a letdown. And I was thinking, you know, oh, something's going to kind of happen. No, nothing happened. Are there any issues or any comic stuff you guys want to talk about? Because I'm looking at the chat, other than trash talking each other. Let's see what else we got. I will talk about the issues that Thor showed up in. Spidey, Deadpool, number 4. Was it 4? Yeah, 4. Deadpool and Spidey are becoming friends. Spidey's been kind of iffy on, hey, why should I be friends with Deadpool? And Wade Wilson is a hardcore Spider-Man fan, like hardcore. So much that they get stripped down to their boxers and masks to have a dance-off. And of course, Deadpool / Wade Wilson is wearing Spider-Man boxers. So we have that. But he set up a date for Spider-Man with Succubus. Go figure. His wife's cousins, and he has a hall pass. He literally has a list of 5 people on his hall pass. Number 1 says Hillary Clinton as if she's president. Haha, not happening. The other is Thor if it happens to be a lady Thor. And so what he did was he sent out a message on his Avengers phone, Avengers emergency, and Lady Thor shows up, and then she finds out it's a date and gets pissed off, and then is about to fight the Succubus, and then Spidey gets them to stop, and then they make Spidey and Deadpool have a dance-off. And at the very end of the issue, Deadpool shows up to Peter Parker's apartment and puts a bullet between his eyes, and that's how it ends. So who knows what really happens, because Spider-Man's in a crap ton of titles right now, and it would be weird if they killed him off. What else? She was not in Captain Marvel. She was not in Silk. She was not in Nova. She was not in Deadpool. Karnak. Totally Awesome Hulk. Number 4 or 5? 5. The Enchantress comes in and takes over the new Hulk and makes him do some shady, crappy stuff, like blowing stuff up. And it's kind of funny because Amadeus Cho keeps thinking nothing's happening. And Debo's here. Clown I am, Debo. Don't be jealous that I look good with a beard and you don't. In fact, you can't grow one. But, oh my God, Lizzie, you're tripping me out. Oh, when we dab on him. There you go. Clay and Ethan. But yeah, so, and Totally Awesome Hulk. He keeps ending up places where he doesn't know why he's there. And the Enchantress is taking over his dreams and making him Hulk out and go do things. And towards the end, guess who shows up? Lady Thor, because she wants to know what the hell's going on with Hulk, since all this shit's going crazy. And that's he pretty much is arguing with his sister half the issue, and the other half the issue is him talking to Tyler. That's because the Enchantress is trying to convince him to be her consort king. And so like I said, Lady Thor shows up at the end. Now, I wish Lady Thor would get her, but I think she still has a thing for the original Thor. But then she made out with Sam Wilson, Captain America, in like the first or second issue of Avengers. And I'm sorry for beard shaming, Tyler. I'm glad you're being a firefighter and going to Firefighter Academy, and I hope you do well on it. But yeah, so Lady Thor totally makes out with a Captain America, and they talk about it like 3 issues later. And she's like, yeah, you only live once. She hits him with a Carpe Diem, so who knows if anything else happens from there, in all honesty. Power Man and Iron Fist. This is weird, by the way. Number 3, I'm hoping that's Black Mariah and then their old assistant, Ginny. I'm hoping, nice Lizzie, but it's Sam Wilson cap, not Steve Rogers cap. But the Power Man and Iron Fist, the storyline's alright. It's pretty much them getting back together, and Power Man's like, I don't want to get back together, and Iron Fist's like, hell yeah, I want to get back together. And his wife, Jessica Jones, Power Man's wife, is like, fuck that, and she's always cussing out Danny in front of the kid, but everybody else is not allowed to cuss in front of the kid. So this past issue, they finally catch up to Black Mariah and their assistant, but this weird soul stone that she's wearing has turned her into some kind of crazy ass lizard from Ashanti the Trickster. Tyler, I'd totally make out with you. But So yeah, so that's kind of weird that's going on. And Doc Strange has no clue what it is because it's a lower form of magic. So therefore, the big guys of magic don't really pay much attention to it. And that's kind of how they explained on why Doc Strange didn't know about it. Let's see. Karnak. This is an interesting title for people if they want to read it. It's number 3. He is an Inhuman who has not gone through the what they call the Terrigen Cloud, which is... Sorry, I hit a button and it almost got weird. The Terrigen Cloud makes Inhumans get their powers. And Karnak has not actually done that. He has just studied super hard, and he has some innate, some small ability or something inside him that is able to find the flaws in everything, like arguments, music, words, buildings, bodies, just anything. And only Agent Coulson is pissy with him because he's kind of just like a one-man wrecking crew trying to find this one Inhuman who has not gone through, or who went through the Genesis but was not affected. So a lot of people are calling him the Messiah, the one, and they get like a religious cult now following him. And it's weird. So towards the end, they're flying in looks like the flying Triskelion, and these people mouths open up like some horror movie where their mouth opens all like creepy wide, like but like down towards below where my beard, and they're shooting projectiles out at the ship. And Karnak says, and the ship's starting to disintegrate and fall apart, and Karnak's like, give me a second, hold on. He's finding out in his ear, figuring out the flaw in the music and the frequency to cancel out their frequency. And then he gets on the PA system, makes whatever note he has to make, and knocks everybody out. And that was the end of that issue. And that's just kind of like how he finds the flaws. Like last issue, issue 2, as you see, like on the cover, him hitting certain vital points on people. He was hitting them when he was getting in a fight with them to knock them out, pretty much. And that's kind of what it's weird because he doesn't have a power, but yet it is a power. But yeah, Deadpool for the second issue in a row, number 10 and number 9. He has got like a dead list like Steve Buscemi in what was it? Oh my god, Adam Sandler movie where he's a kid, where he's gonna go back to school. Oh god, I can't remember what it's called. It's the one where he talks to the penguin. But anyway, Deadpool's got a list of people he's trying to kill. Billy Madison, thank you, Jason. But he's got a list. He's got to kill people that have wronged him, and Sabretooth killed his parents, and he's trying to find... sorry, Lizzie, I forgot. And so yeah, that's literally what he's going through. I think Sabretooth's second on his list right now, and it's 2 issues long. The first issue has him meeting up with Sabretooth, and this issue is all about them sitting down and talking about it. And Sabretooth apologizes, and then Deadpool knocks him out and drags him and ties him up. Or no, he shoots him in the head to knock him out. Then he drives forever in a big rig, ties him to the one end of the big rig and to a tree to rip him apart. And that's where this issue ends, except there's a little twist. The Terrigen Mist in Marvel Universe right now is pretty much killing off mutants. It's making them sterile and killing them off. And he had a gas chamber of it, and he's going to give it to Sabretooth. So, yeah. Lizzie, clarify black Ethan and white Ethan. No, it's not racist because black Ethan, Ethan Kelly, made that distinction of how to identify us. So yeah. Alright, next we have Nova 6. This is actually a great storyline so far. The Nova is the young kid named Sam, who is a black Nova Corps, which is like the epitome of Nova. That's what or not epitome, the highest rank of Nova. Light and dark matter. And he's a black Nova Corps. It means he's more powerful than everybody else. Well, he's pissed off the Chitauri race. And they come in, thanks Marcellus, he comes in and they send a fake Chitauri replicate clone of his dad wearing his dad's old Nova helmet. And the clone gets conscious and says, hey, you know what, I'm not your real dad, I'm a Chitauri clone. The Chitauri are trying to kill you. And he's like, oh shit, what do I do? And he's like, but I don't want to kill you, I'm just warning you. But so you know, I'm going to go out and find your dad if I can and try to stop the Chitauri from coming after you. And that's pretty much where this issue stops at. But the great thing about Nova, Miss Marvel, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and the all-new, all different Avengers, they all tie each other around and go back and forth in the issues. Like this past issue of Spider-Man Morales, Miss Marvel was in it. And then in Miss Marvel's issue, Sam Nova was in it. And every now and then, one of the big guys jumps in, like Sam Wilson or you know, Captain America, Thor, or Iron Man, or Vision. So it's been kind of cool how they're overlapping issues, kind of like Spider-Man. And pretty much all the Spider titles, Amazing Spider-Man has made an appearance in it somehow, some way, some form. And that's been really fun for me because I'm a little bit of a fanboy. Jarheads, Ethan. Ha! Nice. But yeah, we know I'm a massive Spider-Man fan. I mean, hell, I got gloves. I've got... Where's the booties? I got Spider-Man booties. Trying to get the mask because I got it on a mannequin head. Ugh. And I got a wig on it, but that's my Spider-Man mask with a wig. I have a lot of cosplay stuff that I don't really wear other than to get drunk and put it on Snapchat looking like a dumbass and try to drink. Here we go. And next is Silk. Okay. So, haters are going to hate Dab. Yeah, my WoW tune is Spider for a reason. Alright, so Silk. It's under Spider-Woman right now. There is a mini storyline arc going through Silk, Spider-Gwen, and Spider-Woman. Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. And they get stuck in Gwen Stacy's Spider-Gwen's world in the first issue. And then this past issue was Spider-Gwen. And they're all, pretty much it focuses on, obviously, who's the title about. Like, Spider-Gwen's about Spider-Gwen. And this one is about Silk. Her parents are dead in our universe, which is Earth 616. And so she's been upset because she hadn't seen them in 15, 20 years, something like that. So what's she do? She seeks out her parents. And come to find out the Cindy Moon, which is her name, in this world, no, the phone's dying, no! And, yeah, so she is evil in this world. And she finds out and she's kind of like, well, what the hell? And then she finds out that she sent the evil Jessica Drew from this universe to 616. And so, get to the charger! And so that's what's kind of going on in that issue. Cindy Moon just trying to figure out who the hell she is in this world and love on her parents and finding out there's some big evil plan to take over Earth 616. And the next issue is the Jessica Drew issue, which is Spider-Woman. And that's going to deal with more about her finding out who her doppelganger is in this world. And then the final issue of that is going to be called Spider-Woman... Excuse me, it is 8. Spider-Woman Omega. And that'll be the end of that story arc. But it's a pretty cool story arc. It's a way to get you to buy more than one issue of a certain title. And usually they're pretty good storylines when they do that. Like right now, the Avengers Standoff, which is pretty much the beginning of Civil War, crosses over like 7 different titles, I think. All the Avengers titles, and then a couple solo titles. And that's pretty cool. Next we have Captain Marvel 4. Another good title. So basically what's going on in her world, she's in charge of a space station, and in charge of SWORD, which is like S.H.I.E.L.D. but outer space S.H.I.E.L.D. They make sure that aliens don't come and overtake Earth and all that fun shit. And who else is on her team, you might ask? The Alpha Flight, the Canadian superhero team that is never really taken off as a comic book. And my 3-year-old nephew just came in the room. Do you want to watch the rest of your superhero squad? Say hey to everybody.
Hey.
Do what you need so I can continue this.
I love you.
I love you too, buddy.
I love you.
What? Okay. So, oh yeah, she's in charge of Alpha Flight. And Alpha Flight, let's see, the people are talking right there. They see you, but they said hey back.
Okay, I don't want to watch this game, but I do want to watch something.
Alright, well I'll turn it on for you while I talk.
I want Rescue Bots.
Rescue Bots? Okay. Alright, so... And Captain Marvel, like I said, she's got the Alpha Flight is her team, and that's pretty cool for me because being a '90s comic book reader, Alpha Flight kind of had a book. It didn't really take off, but they were bouncing around the X-Men universe a lot, so you got to know who they were. And it's cool to see them active again. But currently, what's going on? A Kree ship has shown up, and it's pretty much nullified Captain Marvel's power. Sorry, I'm talking, but I'm trying to get to Netflix for my nephew. And
Are you talking about superheroes?
yes, sir, I'm talking about superheroes
Why are you talking about superheroes?
because that's why I made this thing so people can talk to me and I can talk to them about superheroes. And so yeah, it has nullified her powers and made her extremely weak. So they come up with a plan to destroy the ship, and boom, powers are restored. And the only issue is there's another ship there called the Satori, who are pissed off at the Kree for destroying their world, and that's why they're there to pretty much destroy the Kree, because they don't know the Kree have been killed off in this world. And so they have captured a person, and they've made a translator, universal translator, and he's like, yes, I will deliver the message to let my people know that Kree are destroyed and to stand down. Yeah, Marcellus, I'm glad. I mean, anytime you want to talk about anybody that is trying to figure out where they need to go, you want to start from the beginning? Or this?
We can't stay here. Which way to the road?
Okay, this is where you left off. Okay. But yeah, anybody that has not read comics and wants to get back into comics, by all means, I would gladly like to help out. And this store in Complex, they didn't have a store when I was there. That's my biggest issue. 4 years in Hawaii, they had some mom and pop comic book store that just didn't have anything, and it was aggravating. But yeah, right now is a good time to get into Marvel for those that have not read, because Marvel just retconned, and if you know what that means, they pretty much gave their reboot to this whole universe, and it's pretty cool because there's been a few changes. Obviously, there's a Lady Thor, there's a Black Captain America, there's a Indian, as in like Bangladesh, India. Almost said something else that would have been really bad. Miss Marvel, and she's actually pretty cool, Kamala, and her powers are different. Oh man, they didn't have that at all when I was there myself. Okay, so back to Captain Marvel. So yeah, the Satori, they send the guy in their own ship, and they're broadcasting a message, hey, don't shoot the ship, it's one of your people. He's sending a message to him, hey, I'm one of you people, and boom, they blow it up, and that's where that issue ends. And it's like, uh-oh, bum, bum, bum. So I think it's going to start into an outer space wars. But what's going on also, the Ultimates are trying to get to the spaceship to help them out, and the Guardians of the Galaxy are trying to show up. So I'm pretty sure some of the Guardians of the Galaxies are going to show up, because currently in the Guardians of the Galaxy, they're split into two teams at the moment because they're such a big squad. And one of the squad was the Thing, and it was an awesome issue, but it was last week's. Sorry, I'm drinking water because I'm so thirsty. Already went over Deadpool. Okay. Extraordinary X-Men. I really love this title because, well, Ethan, I have to do this. I don't know how to do a setup for that. Next week we have a store tournament. We have monthly tournaments at the store. I will see if I can do some kind of setup for that. But it's kind of boring to watch, in all honesty, unless you're physically there. It's like golf or tennis or baseball. It's not fun on TV, but it's more fun when you're physically there or doing it. But yeah, in Extraordinary X-Men, they somehow travel to the future where Apocalypse has taken over. And for all the X titles right now, the Age of Apocalypse, or Apocalypse Wars, I think is what it's called, it's going to be overlapping all the X titles, which is Uncanny X-Men, Extraordinary X-Men, All New X-Men. I think that's it. All New Wolverine, Old Man Logan, a few of the solo titles, but the X-Men universe is going to be dealing with the Apocalypse issue, aka the movie. So MCU, Marvel's sort of tying in their movies with the MCU, with what's going on in the comics. Like right now, the new movie coming out for X-Men is Age of Apocalypse. And what's coming out in the Marvel movie, Captain America, Civil War, hence the Civil War stuff that's going on in the comics. They don't exactly have the Myself, I do watch golf too. Just usually on Sundays. I usually don't watch the Friday or Saturday events because I pass out. Well, turn it off, man. You know how to turn it off? You know where the switch is? It's by the light. It's the second switch. It's the one furthest away from the door. Other one. There you go. Good job. But yeah. So they're in the future. Apocalypse is taking over, and Colossus went there with the new batch of new X-Men cadets, and Colossus stays back to deal with the Four Horsemen. And the Four Horsemen he has is Deadpool, Moon Knight, Venom, and crap, I can't remember who the other one was now. Because he beats up Moon Knight to take Moon Knight's position. I'm opening up the comic. Because it's going to bug me not knowing. Oh, Travis, yeah, you missed it. The first thing I talked about was Thor and how flippin' disappointing it was. Actually, really, I haven't really gone over it. I just kind of said it was disappointing. I will talk about it in just a moment as soon as I get done with X-Men. I'm trying to get to the Four Horsemen Man Thing, aka Swamp Thing. Our version of Swamp Thing in the universe. There's the three of them: Venom, Deadpool, and Man Thing. But yeah, so Colossus decides to stay back and fight them off and let the New Mutants, with their egg that has 600 New Mutants in it, because the Terrigen Mist, like I said earlier, has made the mutant universe to sterile. Can't reproduce any more mutants. It's killed off the X gene. And somehow these 600 chromosome mutants are in a shell waiting to be born, and they're protecting it. And they're literally bouncing from realm to realm, is what it kind of is in the new future. It's kind of weird. But there's a Tony Stark realm, where it's nothing but AI and Iron Man robots. There's a magical realm, which is kind of like, it's ran by the Scarlet Queen, but they didn't show who she was. And it's not the Scarlet Witch, because this is set like way future, and everybody's kind of dead. And the story goes along for this issue roughly a year long, of them bouncing between places, and then the current X-Men finally travel far enough to the future to get to them, and they get there and they see the Four Horsemen, and Colossus has taken over as the Horseman. And so they're kind of like, oh, what the F? What the F? And Storm's like, Colossus, well, how could you? He's like, Lord Apocalypse is right. And it starts with them fighting. So that's where it ended on that one. So we shall see how that plays out in next week's issues. Alright, so I'll get to Thor. Up until this week's issue, the artwork anyway has been phenomenal, and the storyline's been bomb. But this week's issue, like I said, left us in a flipping cliffhanger last week. But I think I talked about it earlier. It gave us a backstory, which is a cool backstory, don't get me wrong. But you don't end an issue with the original Thor about to break loose of a prison to go, avenge his mother's death. You don't. If they left it, they don't bring him in at all. They bring a younger version of him beating up on Vikings. It takes place in the Viking era, and how this one guy prayed to Loki to get powers, and he looks like a gray deranged Hulk, and I'm pretty sure he showed up in Marvel before, and I can't remember his name. But if you're reading Thor, it was just a huge letdown after last week's issue. I was just like, yeah, we're going to see what happens. And what? No, what? There's no Thor? It's pretty much a backstory filler. And oh yeah, Marcellus, this is where I brought in Naruto. It was a filler episode. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of what happened. It just left you huge down. So, my personal favorite that I think everybody should get on, it's an independent comic. Red Thorn. The main character is a redhead, which means Joe should be reading that based on principle alone. She has the power to draw humans and make them come to life from her comics, pretty much. So she rarely draws humans. And this takes place in Scotland, and there's a battle going between the gods, and they're called the Alba gods. And it's cool. The The one god was pretty much put in prison forever because an evil god, Belicadros, I can't really say his name, Bella, Cadrous, Belicadros, horns, beard, and he's like half goat, but which, go figure, there's symbolism, and as Willem Dafoe would say in Boondocks, symbolism, but symbology. But yeah, so she draws a portal with the help of this mute guy from the Middle East who's able to draw maps without even seeing places. He just, in his head, can draw maps to the detail. So those two draw together and make a portal to this other realm. She goes there to confront the evil baddie. And he's chill. He's kind of like, yeah, it's no big deal. This is what's, Red Thorn is lying to you. Red Thorn is the god that she's with. And she goes, I figured he was, and you're just as bad. I'm just kind of in the middle of it. And secretly, Thorn, when he gives this little flask of what they call red cap drink, has got god blood in it. And specifically, it's her dead sister's blood. Now you have to watch Boondock Saints. And so it's given her almost like right at God level powers. And Thorn talks about how she is a Trojan horse, and so she instantly emotionally just breaks down, and like stuff just starts flying all everywhere, and it's taking over the realm. And so Belicadros is like, I'll bump this, and makes a portal and throws her through it. And Thorn starts beating on this skin drum. So I know skin. It's kind of like freaking Hannibal Lecter's skin drum kind of thing. It's weird. He's beating on with his bones, and the tune keeps the portal open. And so now we're, I think next issue we're gonna have a big war finally between the two gods. Loch Ness Monster is a hot female god in this. She can transform from Nessie to this blonde-haired, blue-eyed with a sweet serpent tattoo going around her whole body. And the comic does show nudity. But of course, a lot of the 80s comics show nudity. Hell, I got a Green Arrow Longbow, the Longbow Hunters story arc, which is a thick novel, graphic novel. There's boobs. I mean, in the 80s and first part of the 90s, it was not a big deal to have boobs showing. But yes. So does anybody have any questions? Anything else they want to talk about? Like what's going on in the movie verse compared to the comic verse? Because I'm reading stuff in the chat. I'd gladly talk about it. Or do you want to have any questions of me? Because there's a delay from the video to you guys commenting. So right now what it shows for me, Julia's last comment was, she is one of the best in the story. And I assume she's talking about Red Thorn. And about the Loch Ness goddess. So Marcellus, what are you wanting to read? Like, you want to start with like actual issues, certain heroes, certain storylines. Let me know. And same thing with you, Kelly. Kels, Clay, and Ethan. Is there anything specific you want to start with comic-wise? I know you said you're looking to get into comics. Wait, he's adopted? Okay, what did I miss, Travis? Obviously, I missed the back and read Iron Man. I seriously can't find out where we find out Tony was adopted. Okay, obviously, the last storyline, I think, the last issue talked about him possibly being adopted. I can't remember now. But, I don't know. I don't know who his parents are. That's the thing. I thought Howard Stark was his parents, so I'm thrown for a loop because I'm confused now. Ethan Kelly. Right now, Marvel's in its first 10 issues of first 10 of every issue they have. So good to start there. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot, Drew. Eventually, DC is about to reboot their entire series, so that kind of sucks because I really enjoyed the Green Arrow series. The Injustice storyline of DC is not going anywhere, and pretty much the Injustice is Joker plants a bomb in Metropolis and kills off Lois Lane and her baby, which is Superman's baby. and Superman becomes unhinged and yells at yells at Batman, "You should have killed this guy." And Joker kind of provokes him while he's imprisoned, and then boom, hand through chest, grabs heart, rips it out. Dunzo. Joker's dead, and it draws a line right there in DC with all the heroes at that point. Batman and pretty much a good chunk of the guys we like side with Batman about how Superman is being out of line, and Superman pretty much takes over Earth as and puts it under martial law. And they come up with this special pill that gives everybody pretty much Superman-like powers. And it's actually a pretty cool storyline because they end up killing off Green Arrow in the storyline, which sucks for me because I'm a big Green Arrow fan. But it also, it makes certain people make choices to either stay with Superman at that point or go to the Resistance, which is Batman. And it's pretty epic, in all honesty. Lex Luthor is secretly working with Batman, but he's acting like a best friend to Superman in Injustice. Black Canary is pregnant and has a kid. G has shown a couple of the screen or comic issues where her and Harley Quinn are fighting, and then she's like, "Oh, give me a second, I gotta puke," and she goes and pukes in a bucket. It's because she's I'm just reading what everybody's saying, and yeah, so they stop the fight because she's pregnant, and then you find out from Harley she had a kid with Joker and gave the kid away because she didn't feel fit to raise the kid. And so, but Injustice, yeah, they've got Year 1, Volume 1 and 2, Year 2, Volume 1 and 2, and Year 3, Volume 1 and 2 out right now. They're in Year 5 in the issues, like single issues. But you can get all Years 1 through 3 in paperback. I think Year 4, Volume 1 is coming out in hardback soon, and I get them in paperback because I just feel weird having a graphic novel that's a comic in hardback. It just doesn't sit well with me. It's my own personal issue. And that's also why I read comics. I could do, like Josh Morris does, the digital version with a Kindle or Amazon Fire or something like that. I'm a bit of a follow. I got to have the comic in my hand, and I prefer it to be paperback. It's just a feel, and I don't know, it's just how I am. I'll have to go back and relook at that, Travis, because I believe you. I just can't remember it, is all. I'd like to see how DC does the rebirth, how they change things. It could be fun, but I was really enjoying JLA and Green Arrow. I just feel it's weird for DC as a universe who just 5 years ago rebooted. And for anybody that doesn't read comics on a regular basis, about every 20 or so years, each Marvel and DC, they kind of reboot and reset the system because it's hard to say because if they did from when the comics actually started, which is 30s for Superman, he'd be old man Superman right now. He wouldn't be the young Superman, and younger kids wouldn't be able to get into him as much because being old, gray street, salt and pepper Superman. And same thing. Cap would be 100, something like that, something ridiculous. So it's weird. You can't. New 52 issues. Oh yeah, do 52, and they're going to end at 52 issues. That's kind of funny, actually. I think they're at 48 and 49 right now, so all the issues are going to end at 52. Kind of foreshadow. Woo. Well, Mackie, it's not bad. I feel like if you do it every 20 years, the reboots are fine because you got to change with the times, current situations, and that's one of the biggest things that I enjoyed when they rebooted Marvel right now, because they rebooted in the early 90s with Heroes Reborn, where I think the storyline Scarlet Witch wiped out the entire Marvel universe, or she wiped out all the mutants. She literally said no more mutants. But yeah, that's what happened with Marvel during that time frame. But with the reboot, some things change. As you see from Marvel, we, like I stated earlier, got a female Thor, you got a black Captain America, you got an old man Steve Rogers, but guess what just happened? He got his powers back. So we're going to see a new version of Captain America, which should be cool. And then you got Kamala, the new Miss Marvel, who, honestly, guys, that's a really cool storyline with her. It's her dealing with being a kid and her best friend being a kid genius and helping her out. almost like Static Shock, by the way. Little 90s cartoon in there for you, or was it early 2000s? But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the reboot and the new stories, and it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. Some of the stories I put down, like Hawkeye, I read 4 issues and I just couldn't handle it. It was killing me. I didn't like the storyline. I wasn't enjoying the arcs, and then so I let him last 4 issues. See, I'm with you, Travis. Kamala is adorable. I don't really read the villains. Again, villains can talk. I don't really read the villains. Mackie, Krusty Curmudgeon. Thank you, Ethan Kelly. But yeah, I don't really read the villains. I can't get into them for some reason. Like I picked up Carnage 1 and I was like, eh. Josh Morris is a huge villain fan, so he's constantly giving me crap about how I don't read the villain stuff. Like I gave Squadron Supreme a chance simply because they killed off Namor, who is a giant douche. God, Namor's such a douche. He's a Jody. He gets Miss Fantastic to cheat. Not cool, man. Not cool to be a Jody. And so that's why I have my issues with Submariner. Namor. Besides, Aquaman's way cooler and way more powerful. I haven't read the new, like out of all the Avengers titles, I read All New, Ultimates, Uncanny. Yeah, All New, All Different, Uncanny, and Ultimates. And basically there's a 4th Avengers title, which is called All New Avengers. Or the New Avengers. And storyline's a little weird for me. I didn't get into it. Basically, the lineup was kind of weird. It had White Tiger from the Spider-Man cartoon. You had Hawkeye is one of the original members that's on it, and you have the Hulkling, which the Hulkling is a cool character. He's an openly gay character, which is always great for me. Being reading, I like that comics stay with the times, and so it's nice to see they have openly gay characters. But it just the lineup was just weird. I didn't like the lineup, and then the storyline was weird. It had their first bad people were people like Sim type people. Literally, they had the jewel on top of their head instead of a face, and I was like, "What is this? The Sims?" It was just so weird, and I couldn't get the storyline, so I put it down and haven't picked up since. But the all new, all different Avengers, it's pretty much the Avengers. It's Lady Thor, Wiccan. Yeah, that's right. I forgot his boyfriend Wiccan. Wiccan's a cool character, but you got Lady Thor, Captain America, Falcon, Sam, and Iron Man, and Vision are your main 4 from the original Avengers. And she's got the newer versions of them, and then you have Spider-Man, Morales, Miss Marvel, and Nova. And that's, like I said, that's been cool. Those 4 issues and have been kind of circling around each other, visiting each other's worlds and whatnot. And then the Ultimates is Black Panther, which I am in love with Black Panther. Like he's my second favorite Marvel character. Spider-Man's number 1, Black Panther's number 2. And I'm so glad his issues finally came out. Number 1 just came out 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. And it was good. That's got a whole new twist on it, by the way. That's a bomb twist. It's since he's been gone helping the Avengers, his sister took over as Queen and a Black Panther as well, but she gets killed off. In the first issue, you see she's pretty much on ice, like in cryostasis, and he's trying to figure a way to bring her back, and he's trying to unite the kingdom again, because right now the kingdom's having a civil war because their king has come back after he left them. So it was kind of cool. It was different form of Black Panther I've ever seen, but I was thoroughly enjoying it a lot, and so it should take off and get even better as we continue the storyline. So, but yeah, Ultimates is him, Blue Marvel, which the guy, he's like antimatter or the epitome of matter. He's I don't really understand his power, in all honesty. It has something to do with like antimatter. He's cool, but he's different. Who else is in the lineup? Miss America. She's like super strong. She's not like Captain America, but she's like him, but has extra powers. And my mind's blank for Ultimates right now for some reason, because all I'm thinking about is the original Avengers. But they made Galactus. We'll turn it off. In the Ultimates, Ooh, that's a good question, Travis. Do I think Wakanda is going to get overthrown? I don't think Wakanda is going to get overthrown. I think it's just going to be a slow building back up. The trust. That's right. Miss America can move through dimensions. That's what it is. But yeah, I think Wakanda is going to get back to its normalcy, and you'll just have little spots of rebels, like every king-like monarchy. God, I cannot think of the word for government. Monarchy government. There's always going to be someone that's pissed off and doesn't want the king in power. So I think that's always going to be there. But I think they're going to eventually get to it. I think it's just going to take a couple of issues for him to get back the trust of his people and get Wakanda back in working order. Since and one of the worlds that the X-Men were walking through was in a Wakanda world. And Molman survived. And at the moment, when they get to the Molman world, they're like, how the F did mole people survive, but mutants didn't? Terrigen Mist. Which, by the way, that is the coolest thing they have done. Spectrum and Captain Marvel. There we go. Yeah, one of the coolest things they've done in Marvel with the reboot is the Terrigen Mist. It's a whole new issue to deal with mutants. They call it Mpox. If you catch it, you are sterile and can't. If you have kids, they won't have mutant gene, pretty much. It's killing off the mutant gene. It's a cool underlying subplot to the whole Marvel universe. And they're going to address it at some point as a whole, I'm pretty sure. But that's been pretty cool. Let's see. Last week was Inhumans. Yeah, it was Inhumans. And Spider-Man showed up to help out in China, and they faced the Avengers version of China, which was pretty cool to see them come up with different people. I always enjoy when I see other countries' teams, like in it was G.I. Joe. They had the Russian Guard or Cold Guard. It was the Russians' versions of G.I. Joe. To me, I love seeing stuff like that. It's super cool to me. Like Voltron's coming back in June, by the way, June 10th. So excited! Thank you, Netflix. Yes. The Rogue is so anti-Inhumans. There's going to be a mutant versus Inhumans at some point. I think it's going to happen after Civil War, because it has to happen. It flat out has to happen, because the mutants are all pissy with all of the Inhumans right now. A good chunk of the world is pissed off at Inhumans because the Terrigen Mist is a floating cloud. It's not just all over Earth. It's just a floating cloud going from place to place to place. No really clear direction, and it's changing humans to Inhumans, and making mutants infertile and sterile. So that's an underlying issue as well that has to be addressed. And now these spires are popping out everywhere, and they only interact with Inhumans. They take over Inhuman bodies to get people to move away from messing with the spires. So that'll be something that keeps popping up in Inhumans, and possibly Spider-Man, since he was involved with it. What?
I want it.
What do you want? You don't want rescue bots. What else do you want? Do you want Power Rangers?
Yes.
Which Power Ranger do you want? You guys can look at my nephew while I figure out what he wants. What Power Ranger do you want, buddy? Andrew. You don't want Power Rangers? What do you want? Huh? What? Ow. Andrew, you gotta talk to me. Words. What do you want to watch? Oh yeah, that's right. The new leader of AIM does have Mpox, which is that I think might affect him as well, because he's going to be like, oh yeah, I know you don't want any of that. Do you want Power Rangers? What do you want, buddy? You want Power Rangers? Okay. Do you know which Power Rangers you want? Do you want to watch my favorite, Jungle Fury? Okay, we'll watch Jungle Fury. Where we left off. Jungle Fury, bam. Episode 20 is where we left off. There you go, with the White Rhino. Yes, I got my nephew into Power Rangers. Literally, I've watched the entire, except the new one, I think it's called Dino Charge. I've watched from the original all the way to current, in chronological order with my nephew. Because I'm that awesome. I'm that uncle. I'm the funkle. The fun uncle. He kicked off my movie off the bed. I had to put it back up there. What else does everybody want to talk about? Because I'll cap this off if we don't want to talk about anything else anymore. Because I've been going roughly 50 minutes, and it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Thank y'all for coming, because it does. I'm glad to get participation. This is something we as admins want to do more often. Actually, we'd like to. Well, at Dragon Con, we're going to do this. Just so everybody knows, we're going. And like 90% of the admins are going to be at Dragon Con, so you get to see all of us, and including Neil, without him covering his face. And we'll give you guys updates via live stream from Facebook from Dragon Con. And for the members that are going to Dragon Con, obviously we'll try to get you guys in it so we can all be like, hey, look at us, we're all Dragon Con together, kind of thing. And so it should be a lot of fun. But does anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Like Ethan, I would suggest if you don't want to do solo titles, you can do team titles to get back into Marvel. Same thing with Drew. I suggest going like team up titles, like any of the Avengers. If I were to choose one of the Avengers, it'd be all new, all different, because it's got most of the core Avengers from the original Avengers. And I would suggest Extraordinary X-Men, the one I read earlier, because the all-new X-Men is the original X-Men, including Cyclops. But they're young. They're like their teenage selves brought forth from past to the future to help stop why people hate mutants. And so everybody knows, everybody hates mutants because Scott Summers is a bum, and he's a D-bag in the world, and he kills off people, and he got killed because of it. So that's why people hate mutants right now, is because of Cyclops and Scott Summers. So the younger Scott Summers is all like, oh, I don't know if I want to be here because everybody hates Scott, I'm going to become that guy. So I wouldn't really recommend that one. The other one's Uncanny X-Men. And if you like a darker X-Men, Magneto's in charge, and he's all about killing off people because it's Magneto. That lineup is Magneto, Sabretooth, Psylocke. I think Mystique is in the lineup, but she's off doing her own thing. But and M, she's like a Superman pretty much, female form. But Psylocke has mind control over Archangel, so there's that. So I would recommend Extraordinary X-Men, all new, all different Avengers. Everybody hates Cyclops, don't worry, Travis. Spider titles, because we've got one called Web Warriors. I would say Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 and Miles Morales Spider-Man are my top three of the 100 Spider titles that are out right now. Guardians of the Galaxy has like 3 or 4 different titles with Venom Space Knight, which is cool, by the way. Venom's good now, and he's on the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'd recommend Guardians of the Galaxy in general because the lineup is cool. You got Thing. People added into it from the normal, what you see in the movie. Thing, Kitty Pryde, Venom. Yeah, that's it. In those 3. And so that's cool. And then if you're going to follow the Inhuman titles, Uncanny Inhumans, because follows Medusa, who's the queen, and Black Bolt, who's the king, and Johnny Storm, aka Human Torch, who's dating Medusa. He's in it. So for those who wonder where Fantastic Four is, they've kind of been killed off thanks to Fox. Pretty much, Marvel said, "Oh, you guys don't want to work with us? We're going to disintegrate Fantastic Four as a comic." So they Reed Richards, Invisible Woman, and their kids are in the multiverse. They're controlling it, sort of. It's weird. They're not in the comics anymore. Just Ben Grimm, Johnny Storm, and that's it. And they're on their teams. But yeah, that's for team titles. That's what I'd go with to start with. So you have multiple characters, people come and go and out of them. Solo titles. Moon Knight just started this past week. Phenomenal. I didn't really read much Moon Knight when I was younger, but I know of him. But the first issue was awesome. I'm hooked. Obviously, I'm on Black Panther because Black Panther's just flipping dope. But yeah, if you guys have any questions and want to talk further, I've started a DB Nerds comic book chat group, which is fun. We get in there and BS. about comics. If you have any personal questions, I would gladly love to discuss one-on-one about titles. Where you want to start? Yeah, what's up, buddy? Yeah. Why is what? Because TJ became became the Purple Wolf Ranger, and then the White Rhino Ranger. Yeah, he is. RJ, sorry, RJ. See, he remembers Power Rangers better than I do. I mean, it's insane, his memory level of Power Rangers. He knows all their names and everything. Oh yeah, Vision, by the way. Vision is an insane title, guys. It's awesome. You just need to read it, seriously. He's educating me, actually, Lizzie. Yeah, Inhumans is pretty cool. Definitely go Uncanny Inhumans, Ethan. But like I was saying, I'm going to go ahead and log off here in a second. But yeah, if anybody has any comic questions, please feel free to message me. I'll gladly talk about them. Certain issues and certain titles I want to know more than ones I don't, obviously. I'll be glad to put my 2 cents in for it. Do all new, all different Avengers. Kels. The new Avengers is the weird one. But yeah, guys, thanks for showing up, and gals. I will probably try to do this next week, Friday, if y'all are cool with it, and make this my new thing. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll see what happens. But thanks for showing up. Had a good time. Y'all have a great Friday. Don't forget to get your T-shirts. Seriously, this is one from the first run. My other one's folded up nicely because I needed a long sleeve earlier. T-shirts. Support your Twitch. Twitch channel tonight. I think it's going to be D&D. But yeah, do Twitch. It's awesome. What else? Movie meetups. Set up your time to go see the new Civil War movie with everybody. People do it in your areas. Range 15. Get your tickets. And t-shirts. And participate, guys. Participate. We do prizes and giveaways. Just saying. And once again, thanks for showing up. Catch y'all later.